It seems like we've got a really serious, busy Christmas culture problem that we've grown up watching, so that even when we have tried doing all the right things, we just feel pressure right up until the end that we need to do more and be more and give more. Welcome to This Yellow Farmhouse, a podcast by me, Dayna Dyer, a knitting designer and cozy living blogger from an 1834 farmhouse in Illinois. I'm a mom of 3 girls and a cinnamon roll enthusiast with a case of the cozies. This Yellow Farmhouse is for my fellow lovers of all things cozy and for those seeking a simpler, slow life. Welcome to episode 2 of This Yellow Farmhouse. So raise your hand, or maybe if you're in public, do this part in your head. Raise your hand if you grew up watching The Grinch or Jingle All the Way, or really any popular Christmas movie made within the last 20 years, because we've all seen probably at least one of these, and they really focus on, at least maybe not the whole storyline, but the plot of at least one scene. They really focus on this crazy hustle and bustle right up until Christmas morning. They all really shine a light on what I call shiny December syndrome. And they really get caught up in this season. The people are really focused on the shoulds and the busyness of it all. Another really good example is Christmas with the Cranks, where they're really focusing on the shoulds, like how they really should have Frosty up on their roof and they want nothing to do with it, but then they kind of feel this pressure the whole way through the movie. We really see this time and time again. There's too much culture, too much to do, too many people to buy for. If you really want to opt out of busyness this holiday season, it's totally possible and it's totally doable. But we grow up watching this where we don't even think that's possible. We just assume Christmas season is going to be full of overwhelm and stress. So even if we intentionally start early and really start our to-do list and our plan really early on, we still end up feeling like we missed something. And that is because all around us, we're seeing this stress play out. And it kind of reminds me of growing up taking tests in school. If you were the first one to finish your test, if that ever happened, it didn't happen a lot for me, but if it ever happened, you usually, if you're me, like I didn't want to be the first one to get up and turn my test in. I didn't want to be the first person to be like, yeah, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm done. I'm good. Because I was so worried. I second guessed myself. I had to go back through the questions and double check my answers, flip through and make sure I didn't miss an entire page. Kind of like, one, I didn't want to stand out and be different. It's this whole herd mentality. It must be hard for everyone else, so it's got to be hard for me. And if it's not, what am I missing? What did I do wrong? And nobody wants to stand out and be the Karen. So amongst your friends, everyone's talking about what they have left to do for Christmas and who they have to cook for and how many parties they have to get ready for and who's all coming to stay with them for a week or so. You don't want to stand out and be the Karen who's like, well, I'm already done and I'm really just gonna sail through December focusing on my family and our values. Because in a hot mess Christmas culture, we don't want to stand out and put ourselves forward and really seem like we have it together, even if we do, and even if we started early. We really tend to compare ourselves, especially on social media, to everybody else. Everybody knows this. Social media has good and it has bad, but what we do, and I feel like we as moms do more than anyone else, is we take everyone's already putting the best of themselves on social media, but we take the best of each person and we ball it up into this imaginary mom who doesn't really exist. And that's who we're comparing ourselves to and where we stand on this whole hot mess to totally has it together mom. So you might have someone in your friend group who is an amazing baker and they are making all their cookies from scratch. There's no pre-made cookie dough going on in their house. And not only are they making every kind of Christmas cookie, they're decorating it. It all looks Pinterest perfect. And you might have a friend who has really pretty Christmas lights, really gorgeous Christmas decorations. Or you might even have a mom friend who is amazing at having these Christmas activities. So, like, everyone come over for play dates at our house. We're going to do all these amazing coloring pages and crafts and bring out the glue and the glitter. And I don't care because this is what it's all about. And in our minds, we're like conjuring up this imaginary person and trying to be like her. And the problem is that we're never going to get there. So where you're thriving, she's failing. So maybe she's amazing at baking these Christmas cookies, but has spent all this time making Christmas cookies that she hasn't done anything really with her family. She's kind of neglecting family, saying, kids stay out of the kitchen, I'm going to bake all this stuff. Or maybe the mom who has really pretty Christmas decorations, like Instagram worthy lights. She might not have done anything in the kitchen. She might not be making Christmas cookies. Maybe all of her stuff is store-bought, and that's totally okay. Nobody is all of these things. So in the ways that you think you're failing, you're seeing all your friends thriving, and we're hearing it come from right and left and front and back, and we're adding it up into this one person. We keep telling ourselves it's really for our kids, and it's just what we've grown up watching. It's the norm, but it's a lot about our own insecurities and really a lot of fictional stuff that's being put out there. We just make it complicated. So whether it's from the social pressure or just second guessing ourselves, we really think that more needs to be done than there is. Hey guys, I wanted to pop in to tell you about my new knitting pattern, the Cabin Sunrise Infinity Scarf. Knit entirely in garter stitch and holding 2 strands of yarn together at once, this chunky knit scarf is great for the cold months and can be knit up so darn fast. Layer on the cozy. This knitting pattern is an easy project and fun for any level knitter. So, how can you avoid Shiny December syndrome? It's out there, it's everywhere, but you can avoid it by really giving yourself a deadline. So whether it's about if you're picking out Christmas gifts, give yourself a time block within a week or a couple weeks to pick out these presents, and once you're done, give yourself a deadline to be done. And then when you can do that and you avoid the Shiny December syndrome, you can spend December doing what you actually want to do. You can spend cozy nights by the fire instead of waiting in lines or driving store to store in the dark. You can bake and read and journal. You can binge watch Netflix, go look around on YouTube, pick up a new hobby or get into a craft you want to do. Just hang out and spend time with your family celebrating what Christmas is about instead of rushing around like a madwoman. Unsubscribe from emails. Don't go into Amazon's app. If you're grocery shopping, maybe skip Meijer and Walmart and all those big grocery chain stores. All those big grocery chain stores. I do my grocery shopping at Trader Joe's, especially around the holidays. There's not likely anything there that I'm going to see that somebody's going to want unless I have like a cheese fanatic on my list. But really, if you're at an actual grocery store, you're less likely to be going down those aisles and seeing those last minute sales and saying to yourself, well, I got 4 things for so-and-so, but what's 2 more? Like, it's 2 separate transactions. And so you're not really thinking of it all together as one bunch of gifts for so-and-so on your list. You're kind of forgetting about what you already did, and if you're extending that deadline and it lasts and you're shopping for people over 3 or 4 weeks long, you're forgetting what you already did, how much you already paid, and it makes it so much easier to just walk by, don't even blink an eye, and be done with that shopping or be done with that task. So once you're done, really be done. And then when you're done, be confident and don't be afraid to look more with it than someone else. Don't be afraid to stand out. So even though you might not be perfect, None of us are. None of us are that imaginary mom that we bring up in our head and she doesn't exist. You can still be the calm mom who has mostly all of it together. You can still reach that status. So we really just need to get this image of busy out of our head and get this image of what we think everybody else is doing, because they are not doing all that. And if they are, they're not doing it all from scratch. Like I said, store-bought is okay. So I really hope that that was encouraging for you guys and helped you kind of realize that you don't have to do it all. You can do and be enough this season. So thanks for listening, and I will see you guys next time. Stay cozy.